Hey, I heard someone might be stealing your app prompts and you're doing nothing about it? I also heard you need to adjust your prompts and models on the fly without redeploying your app, but you don't know the right way to do it. I'm Marina from the Firebase team, and I'll show you exactly how to do it with Firebase AI Logic in just a few steps. Firebase AI Logic allows you to call Google's Gemini models from your mobile and web apps. It eliminates the need for costly backend middleware, turning days of backend orchestration into a secure, client-side implementation. And today, I will show you how you can eliminate hard-coded prompts from your apps using server prompt templates with Firebase AI Logic. These templates allow you to move your prompt, including system instructions, input and output schemas, and model configuration onto Firebase servers securely. So instead of sending a massive string from the device to the servers, your app just sends a template identifier and the required input variables. Firebase AI Logic then composes the full prompt server-side and executes it. Here are some of the benefits you get using server prompt templates. First, security. Right now, your intellectual property like complex prompts and system instructions is sitting right there on the client side. By moving them to server prompt templates, you're pulling them off the device and keeping it secure on the backend. Second, this also prevents prompt injection attacks because the client can only fill in specific variables. And you can even use regular expressions or control the data type and length to validate these variables before they are used. And third, faster iteration for production. Because your prompts live on the server, you can tweak your instructions or even switch AI models instantly in the Firebase console. No App Store release required. So let's take a look at an example. I've been working on a meal planning app, Friendly Meals. It uses AI to generate recipes based on a list of ingredients and additional instructions, such as dietary restrictions. At the moment, the prompt is baked into the app. So let's take the existing prompt from the app and turn it into a server prompt template. Let's start with the configuration section, also known as front matter. It's used to specify the model name, optional model configuration, input validation, and any input or output schema you want in the request. In this example, I'm using the default configuration of the Gemini model. But you could, for example, configure thinking level and thinking budget, safety settings, temperature, max output tokens, and much more. If you remember, users can provide a list of ingredients and additional instructions, such as dietary restrictions. This means that my prompt is dynamic, as I will need to be able to insert these fields into the prompt. And to do so, I need to define an input schema with two input variables, ingredients and notes. The notes are optional, which I can indicate with the question mark. Lastly, I'm defining an output schema of type JSON. The schema defines each field I'm expecting the output to contain, like string, integer, number, boolean, object, and more. Although JSON schemas are optional, we strongly recommend specifying them. By defining these schemas, you're ensuring that both the model and your app receive structured, predictable data, making it much harder to break your app logic or UI. Now let's take a look at the body of the template. I can use the variables I defined in the prompt as easily as using double curly braces, as you can see here with ingredients and notes. But remember, I made the notes variable optional. Luckily, the template allows me to use conditionals to compose parts of the prompt selectively using if, else, or unless. This means if notes is empty, the template will simply ignore that part of the prompt. Very handy, isn't it? Also, in my scenario, I'm not using system instructions, but you can include them in the body to steer the behavior of the model if you need to. All you have to do is specify which part of the template body belongs to the user prompt and which one to system instructions using the role attribute. You can check how to do this and how to write even more complex server prompt templates in the Firebase AI Logic documentation. Once you're ready to use your server prompt templates in your app, you need to lock it. This prevents you and your teammates from accidentally making any changes to the template. Now that the template is saved and locked, I can call it from my app. Since I've moved this prompt to the server, I can now delete all this code here and replace it with a call to the server prompt template. All I have to do is create a template generative model instance and call generate content, passing in the template ID and all the input variables that I configured in the console. I can then access the model's response calling response.text. Quick note on platforms. I used Kotlin for the code sample you just saw, but the logic remains the same across all the platforms we support. You can grab the snippets for your specific stack in the Firebase AI Logic documentation. As you can see here in the Dart code sample, it only takes a few minor syntax tweaks to switch languages. Once those are in place, you're good to go. Now, you may be wondering what happens if you need to update a template, either because you have a better prompt or system instructions, or because you want to use a new model or update its configurations. Since the template is being used in production, making changes might have undesirable effects on the user experience. This is why we recommend using remote config to roll out prompt changes in a controlled way. In a production scenario, it is recommended to use remote config to perform A/B tests on different prompts or roll back a version instantly if you notice the model isn't performing as expected in your app. This is how you would set up your remote config parameter in the Firebase console. First, choose a parameter name. This is the key to use in your client-side code to fetch the latest template ID. Then, add a description and a default value. We recommend creating template IDs suffixed with a semantic version. Check the links in the description to learn more about this versioning system. The change to your code is minimal. Instead of hardcoding the template ID in your app, you fetch it as a remote config parameter. So the piece of code that you saw previously would look like this. And that's how you can use server prompt templates to move prompts from your clients to the server and protect your intellectual property. Keeping your prompts in one location also helps you to ensure all your clients use the same prompt. Server prompt templates are an important component for getting your AI-powered app ready for production. Here are a couple of additional steps you should take before you ship your app. First, you should protect your app using app check. This ensures only your legitimate app running on untampered devices can call any Firebase backend services. Check out the app check documentation to learn more about it. Second, I recommend checking out our production checklist. It contains important additional information you should consider before launching your app or any new AI features to production. And that's it! You're ready to start building more secure and flexible AI features with Firebase AI Logic. All the documentation pages and sample apps mentioned in this video are linked in the description below. Happy coding!